What's up, sports bettors? Mavs off to an early lead, but what we're looking at is the best MLB bets for May 16th, for today. What are the best picks? What are the best bets available? We can see sportsbooks have already started to post odds for May 16th. And the first bet that I really like is Blue Jays minus 1.5 on the run line. So I feel like the Blue Jays have been underperforming a bit this season, and lines have already started to move towards them. So line movement is already taking betting markets towards the Blue Jays, and we can pick up plus 140 on Caesars. Pinnacle has this all the way down at plus 125. So we're getting 15 cents of improvement to Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, right? Plus 125 to plus 140 is 15 cents of improvement from the current odds on Pinnacle. So this is a really good bet. The profit margin is 3.96%. So we're going to go ahead and lock it in as my first MLB bet for today. Got to have some bets on. So wait for Caesars to load, and then we'll hit it. So $500 on this bet, and then I'll make sure to add this bet to my OddsJam Bet Tracker. So $500, a green check mark shows up, indicating that I added this bet to my bet tracker. And again, adding bets to your bet tracker is really important because you want to track your profit and loss, right? You want to know where you're making money, where you're losing money. If you bet $5,000, or if you've made $5,000 betting on the NBA and lost $5,000 betting on the MLB, maybe you have something, to consider about your sports betting strategy. But anyways, Blue Jays minus 1.5, 3.96% EV. So 3.96% EV, $500 stake means the profit margin of our bet, quantified in dollars, mathematically, is $19.80. So that's the first bet I locked in. I'm going to skip over some of these bets on FanDuel. I already locked in Giants minus 1.5 on the run line. Pinnacle only has 10 cents in market with. We can get plus 112, and you can see it. Where is it? Somewhere in here. I have a bunch of bets open on the Suns game. Giants minus 1.5 run line, plus 112. So that's what we got for today. Blue Jays minus 1.5 on the run line, plus 140. Really like this bet. It's also an ARB to Pinnacle, right? So whenever you have arbitrage in sports betting, both of these are ARBs, you can make risk-free money, right? This is an arbitrage calculator. You can place bets on both sides on different sports books. So you can bet the Rockies plus 1.5 at minus 111 odds on Pinnacle, the Giants minus 1.5 at plus 112 odds on FanDuel, and you would make a risk-free profit. So obviously these profit percentages aren't that high, but the point is, whenever you can make risk-free money as a sports bettor, you know that one of these bets has to be profitable, right? Which is why I ended up locking in Giants minus 1.5 and Blue Jays minus 1.5 at these prices, right? They are both ARBs to the sharpest sportsbook in the world. And whenever you have an ARB to Pinnacle, you should be especially confident that that bet is very profitable, right? Because either Pinnacle's wrong right here or FanDuel's wrong, right? So every time I'm going to be placing my bet on FanDuel Sportsbook, which is why, I locked in this bet of Giants minus 1.5 run line plus 112. So how are my player props looking? There we go. Jalen Brunson under 3.5 assists. He's currently sitting at 0. Finney Smith. Anyways, let's get back to it. So I'll go back to my bet tracker so we can go here. And then we can go to the dashboard. And, tracking your bets is important, right? Because not only do you want to follow along with your profit and loss, every sports bettor has down weeks and up weeks, right? But you want to know, how are you looking over the course of a few months, right? Over a long period of bets. That's how you really figure out, are you actually a good sports bettor or not? So I like to track my ROI, my net profit, as well as how frequently I'm beating the closing line. I know if this number is above 50%, I'm going to make money betting on sports long term. So I just really try to keep this number as high as possible. My beat CLV percentage, right? Beating the closing line is like beating the market. If you're beating the market over 50% of the time, you're doing a good thing, right? If you're only beating the closing line 20% of the time, you're never going to make money sports betting. So I like to look through at the end of, every day, check out my bets and just see, okay, where am I winning? Where did I beat the closing line as well as where am I making money? So I had Wesley Matthews under 2.5 rebounds, plus 115. The line closed plus 103. Our bet won, right? So it's useful to just kind of like scroll through at the end of every day and make sure, hopefully the majority of your bets are beating the closing line. So That is my positive EV bet for today. What we can do is we can take the current odds. So if we go back to the positive EV betting tool, so I'll just navigate here. We'll go to the positive EV tool. This bet has a profit margin of 3.96%. The market on Pinnacle was plus 125, minus 139. So we can throw that into a zero vig odds calculator to get an indication of the zero vig, the fair price, right? So once you remove the juice from Pinnacle's market, the market of the sharpest sportsbook out there, you can see that the DVIG odds, the fair odds, the true odds, whatever you want to call it, there are a lot of different terms for it, is roughly plus 131, right? And we got plus 140 on Caesars, which is why this is a good bet, right? It's why we're rolling with Blue Jays minus 1.5 on the run line, plus 140. No sports bettor wins every time. It's really all about finding great prices, finding value, right? That's how every sharp, mathematically profitable sports bettor is consistently profiting when they're betting. It doesn't matter if you're betting on the NBA, the MLB, whatever. If you are finding value in prices that are too good to be true, then you will make money, right? Which is basically the same thing as saying if you are consistently beating the closing line, you will make money sports betting. So Blue Jays minus 1.5 is what we're rolling with. If you want to read our other picks, just visit the OddsJam MLB page. We have odds, futures odds, injuries, news, a bunch of the best bets that have been available that you can tail. So I hope you found this helpful, and feel free to comment any questions or suggestions as always. And thank you so much.